All right, welcome in, everybody. We've got another deep dive for you, and this one's a little different.
Yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher,
Yeah, it really is.
definitely. And it's a story we see play out all too often, unfortunately.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Baba backpacks, have you heard of them?
I have. They're making some noise, especially in the streetwear scene. Really unique design.
Yeah, those limited edition backpacks they do, they're super popular. But it's more than just hype.
Oh, absolutely. There's a deeper meaning behind those bags, It's a Black-owned family business. The founder, Bakari Finley, he built this whole thing around the idea of a father's legacy, accountability.
Yeah, I read about the encryption codes they put in the logos. It's like a whole family thing.
Exactly. It's about connection, passing down values. Pretty powerful, actually.
So these backpacks, they've been seen everywhere, right? Politicians, athletes, even a few international figures rocking them.
Definitely gaining traction. Smart strategy, too, getting those high-profile endorsements.
Well, that's where this story takes a turn. See, Bakari, he reached out to Shannon Sharpe's marketing agent.
Shannon Sharpe. Wow. That's a big name.
Yeah, the Hall of Famer. Big personality, huge following.
Mm.
So Bakari wanted to get a couple of backpacks to him and Chad Johnson. Ocho Cinco.
Oh, yeah. Another legend. Smart move. Gotta love some Ocho Cinco. Classic brand exposure, right?
Exactly. But that's just the start. The agent, John Tournour, he's with Fritz Martin Management. He loved the backpacks. And he came back with a much bigger idea.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What'd he propose?
A full-blown promotional campaign. Not just Shannon Sharpe says on, but a whole bunch of NFL guys, past and present.
Whoa, hold on. So he wanted to expand this to, a major thing.
Yep, even bringing in those NIL stars you hear so much about these days.
Ah, the NIL thing. That's a whole other can of worms. College athletes cashing in on their fame. It's a wild new world out there for endorsements.
But back to John, he really laid out a detailed plan. Emails back and forth, specific athletes, the whole 9 yards.
Sounds pretty official. Was there a contract involved?
Not a formal, signed contract. But this is where things get tricky because legally speaking, there was something called an implied agreement.
Implied agreement. So basically, even without a signed piece of paper, their actions and communications created a legally binding understanding.
That's right. And Bakari, he was operating in good faith, believed in this partnership. So he did it, shipped out 40 backpacks.
40 backpacks. Wow, he went all in.
He wanted to make sure Shannon Sharpe got some of the best ones, the limited edition ones.
Yeah, those are highly sought after. So he's put a lot of trust and product into this deal.
So February 14th, 2024, those backpacks are on their way, packed up nice, all the marketing materials, QR codes, the works.
Wow, Valentine's Day, huh? Hope it wasn't a heartbreak in the making.
Uh-huh. Well, stay tuned. Bakari even made sure John had all the tracking info, very thorough.
Smart move. Always got to have that paper trail.
And 5 days later, John confirms he's got the 5 boxes. Everything seems good.
Okay, so far so good. Backpacks are delivered. Everyone's on the same page, right?
Right. John even sends a text on February 29th. Box going out to Shannon Sharpe's in Telchesterp today. Even shares a video of Jaden Hicks, big-time draft prospect, wearing a Babo backpack.
Okay, so proof of distribution. The deal's moving forward. Looks promising, but I'm guessing there's a but here.
Oh, there's definitely a but. And that's where things start to get, well, let's just say interesting. So after that video, after that text, things just kind of slowed down.
The dreaded communication breakdown. That's never a good sign.
Yeah, and it's not like they just stopped talking completely. It was more like...
Like pulling teeth, trying to get a straight answer.
Exactly. Bakari sending messages, just checking in. Hey, how's the campaign going? Any updates? Basic stuff.
The kind of communication you'd expect in any professional partnership.
Right. But the responses from John, they got vague. Things are busy, we're working on it, that sort of thing.
Classic stall tactics. Red flag number 1.
And this went on and on and on. Weeks turned into months, and still no real updates on the promotion.
So we're talking about, what, radio silence for months?
6 months. Can you imagine? Putting all that work in, setting those backpacks, and then nothing.
Oof, yeah. That's what they call ghosting, and it's a terrible look in any business, but especially for someone representing a big name like Shannon Sharpe, Star Trek.
Yeah, it just leaves you hanging, wondering what happened.
Yeah.
Did they even like the backpacks? Did the campaign ever happen? So many questions.
And for a young brand like Baba Backpacks, that uncertainty can be devastating.
Right. They need that exposure, that validation. And to have it just fizzle out like that, it's a tough pill to swallow.
Definitely raises concerns about professionalism, accountability,
Yeah.
even just basic courtesy.
And Bakari, he tried everything. Sent follow-up emails, called, even messaged the CEO of the agency, Jim, hoping for some kind of explanation.
Going up the chain of command, that's a natural step, but it sounds like he hit a dead end.
Yeah, it was like talking to a brick wall. No response, no explanation, just...
Shut. Silence. That's a huge red flag. If you can't get a straight answer from anyone at the agency, it really makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes.
So we're left with these big, unanswered questions. Did Shannon Sharpe even know about this? Was his name used without his knowledge? It's bizarre.
It's certainly possible. Sometimes people's names get thrown around without their consent, especially in the world of endorsements and sponsorships.
And what about those 40 backpacks? Did John just vanish with them? Are they sitting in a warehouse somewhere gathering dust?
I doubt it was some elaborate scheme to steal backpacks. More likely a case of overpromising and underdelivering, maybe some miscommunication mixed in.
Why? Why go through all that effort, get those backpacks, and then just drop the ball? Doesn't make sense.
Well, one possibility is that they just didn't take Baba Backpack seriously. Maybe they thought it's a small brand, they won't make a fuss.
Yeah, and that's a problem, right? This idea that smaller businesses, especially Black-owned businesses, don't have the same clout or influence.
It's a systemic issue, and it's frustrating to see it play out like this. Baba Backpacks, they're trying to build something special, something with meaning, and to have their efforts dismissed like that, it's not right.
It's a reminder that there's often a power imbalance in these situations, and that's what makes Bakari's determination even more inspiring. He's not letting this slide. He's demanding accountability.
Good for him. He's got a right to know what happened, and it speaks to his character that he's not just giving up. He's fighting for his brand, for his vision.
So that brings us to the big question. What does accountability look like in this situation? Is it an apology, restitution, or something more? So we're left with this mess, right? Broken promises, unanswered questions. What happens now?
Well, it's a tough spot for Baba Backpacks to be in, but this is where we get to see what they're really made of.
What do you mean?
Well, they can just let it go, chalk it up to a bad experience, or they can fight back.
And it sounds like Bakari's not one to back down from a challenge.
No, from everything we've seen, he's not. And that's where the power of social media can come into play.
Right, because Baba Backpacks, they've got a pretty solid following online.
Yeah, and they've been vocal about this whole situation, sharing their story, calling out the agency, even tagging Shannon Sharpe Esther in some posts.
Putting the pressure on, huh?
Exactly. Because in today's world, silence can be deafening. Ignoring a problem like this, especially when there are questions of ethics involved, can be really damaging to a brand's reputation.
Yeah, especially when you've got a large, engaged audience watching your every move.
And that's a good thing, right? It means that businesses can't just sweep things under the rug anymore. They have to be held accountable for their actions.
It's like that old saying, sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Exactly. Transparency is key. And the more we demand it, the more businesses will have to prioritize it.
So what do you think? Does Bakari have a chance of getting some kind of resolution here?
I think he does. Because this isn't just about him anymore. It's about a bigger issue.
What do you mean?
It's about the challenges faced by small businesses, especially Black-owned businesses, trying to navigate a system that's often stacked against them.
Yeah. This whole story really highlights that power imbalance.
And by speaking out, by refusing to be silenced, Bakari's shining a light on that imbalance. He's forcing people to pay attention.
And hopefully that attention will lead to some kind of change.
That's the hope, right? That this experience, as frustrating as it's been, will serve as a catalyst for greater accountability and transparency in the business world.
And it's not just about businesses either. It's about us as consumers being more mindful of who we support and how we hold those in power accountable.
Couldn't agree more. We have a responsibility to demand better, to expect ethical behavior from the brands and individuals we choose to engage with.
So, what are some takeaways from all this? What can our listeners do to make a difference?
Well, first off, support small businesses, especially those that align with your values.
Yeah, because every purchase is a vote.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to speak up if you see something that doesn't seem right. Call out bad behavior, demand transparency.
Use your voice, use your platform, even if it's just sharing a story on social media or leaving a review.
Because those actions, they might seem small, but they can add up to real change.
And remember, accountability starts with each of us, whether we're running a business, representing a brand, or simply interacting with others.
It's about treating everyone with respect, honoring our commitments, and owning up to our mistakes.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
It's been a pleasure as always. And remember, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep fighting for what's right.
We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.